Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the most, Avery LR32 here, and I want y'all to destroy the ever-living boo-boo stain off of that 2025 like and subscribe button so we can climb even higher the 1,500 ladder. We're very close to 1,600 subs, only a few away. Hope y'all having a fantastic day. So I wanted to do a bit of a different video today where essentially I talk about everything that you need to know for Yu-Gi-Oh! In the April 2025 format and kind of 2025 in general. And that's because of the fact that I've been seeing a lot of people, not just in my local community, but also online who haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! For the past year, 2, sometimes even 3+ years, and saw this latest ban list that we just got and are like, hey, I really want to get back into the game. And so I figured that I can make this video that people could watch and share around and all that good jazz about essentially a crash course of everything you need to know going into this new format and what will probably be for 2025, at least a good few months down the road, especially after Alliance Insight. We'll talk about all of that. So if you've been taking a break from the game, consider this your welcome back gift because you got a lot of crap to catch up on, ladies and gentlemen. So starting off here, let's talk about the Primite engine, Fiendsmith engine. I'm using this as just an example because this pretty much covers what the game currently is right now. I mean, Blue Eyes is one of the top decks, even though it's kind of dog shit. But, you know, there are dedicated Blue Eyes fans who are going to play Blue Eyes. But the biggest thing to know going into this format is that now with Talents and Cross out at 1 and Called By having been at 1 for a while, this is the new Trinity along with Droll and Lockbird. Any deck that you build, whether you're going to be a casual player or competitive player, you need to be including 3 Droll and Lockbird, 1 Talents, 1 Cross out, 1 Called By. Droll is essentially a turn skip this format. It does so much into this format, whether it's, you know, into Blue Eyes, summoning Sage, and then they search a level 1 tuner, and then you Droll them, and then they're just kind of screwed at that point depending on what else is in their hand. Especially into Fiendsmith, which you also need to know what this engine does. It's been around for like a year at this point, so even if you've taken like a year or if not more of a break from the game, you should at least have an idea of what these cards are. Just be sure that you understand what these cards do. The main cards that you don't have to worry about with Fiendsmith is Rex Tremende because no one plays this card because it's actually kind of booty. And you don't have to worry about Fiendsmith Kyrie because no one really plays this card either. Some builds will play Sanct, and then of course all builds are playing Paradise Track, the whole 9, right? So knowing the choke points of this deck, again, this is where Droll and Lockbird comes in because if the opponent activates Engraver's effect to pitch itself from hand to grave to add a Fiendsmith spell or trap, they're going to add Tract, which is also a searcher. You can Droll them, and then they're crapping all over the venue floor because now they can't use the Tract, and you've essentially ripped a card out of their hand because now they're playing with 1 less card in their hand. This engine is going to be a tier 1 engine in the game until probably we get our next list in about 3 or 4 months when they finally hit it. It is a bit expensive. I mean, who knows what the prices are if you're watching this video a month from now. But engravers are very cheap because they just got reprinted. Lacrimas are currently $40 to $50, and tracks are going anywhere from $60 to $80. So do keep that in mind. This engine doesn't lock you into anything, so you're not locked into just fusions or just fiends or just whatever. It's generically good. It's the Adventure Engine 2.0, if you remember that engine from quite a while back. Although what's funny is that you could play an Adventure and Fiendsmith deck together and just get all of the free non-engine. Is that good? No, because no one's playing fucking Adventure, but the point still stands. Hand traps are hit or miss in this new format. You could choose to play 15 plus hand traps, or you could kind of cut back a little bit and play like 3 droplet. You could play dark rulers, evenlies, feather dusters. You have a lot of different options available to you. You don't have to necessarily play all of these hand traps, but the more you play, the more options you'll have to hit with cross out, whether it's Fua, Pirellia, Droll, all that good stuff. If you are going to go the route of playing hand traps, you need to be playing definitely at least Fualos, ideally both Fualos and Pirellia, and either the main or the side. But you definitely need to be main decking Fualos. This is Max C 2.0. If you don't know what this card does, every time the opponent special summons from the deck or extra deck, you get to draw a card. It's Max C 2.0, and if you activate 2 of them, well, then you're going to be drawing 2 cards, and that's really disgusting. And on top of that, with Blue Eyes being a good deck, it is definitely something that you want to prepare for because there's going to be crazy people like the dude at YCS Houston who played a 60-card pile and actually got, like, I think, top 32, top 64. You can also play a Fiendsmith engine in this if you really want to. And on the point of the Fiendsmith engine, you know, you could cut it down. You don't have to play 3 Engraver, 1 Lacrima, 2 Tract, and then the Fabled Lurie and all that. You could just play like even 1 Engraver, 1 Lacrima, 1 Paradise with 1 Tract, or just cut the the tracked entirely. You don't even have to play the Lurry along with it if you're not playing tracked. So you have a lot of different ways that you can use this engine. When it comes to getting back into the game and like a deck that I recommend that you play if you're trying to like ease yourself back into this format and you don't want something combo heavy, as I scroll through all my decks, I definitely recommend Kashtira Fiendsmith. This deck is easy as fuck to play. Like, my dad plays Stun, and he thinks that this deck is too combo heavy. So, like, unless you're, I guess, Jeff Leonard or you're my dad, two people who, you know, don't like combo decks for the most part, you could just play this because this shit is easy. You're literally summoning a unicorn. If the opponent hand traps you, then okay, cool. You're going to use unicorn to hit the one of detonator out of their extra deck, and then the Rise All player is crapping all over the floor. And then you, of course, have the Fiendsmith engine. You don't have to play through Lacrima if you don't want to, and then you can just play a boatload of hand traps, play 3 Forbidden Droplet, even play, like, say, Dominus Purge, and you're off to the races. You also need to be aware of what the Rise All deck does. This is essentially a rank 4 toolbox deck. You can ignore the deck list here. It's not like these deck lists are something that you're actually going to take to an event and do well with. This is not something to really take serious. It's the concept that matters. With all these at 2, they are getting new support in Alliance Insight. And so with it being a rank 4 toolbox, it is overall generically good, even though that these, when they're special summon, do lock you and only summoning rank 4 exceeds. But if you don't care about that, then it is somewhat splashable. 7 Tachyon, of course, being a great card to search them, especially if you have the extra deck space. This is why I'm saying Unicorn's good, because you hit this one detonator and the Rise All player basically just falls apart because they don't have their boss monster anymore. This detonator is essentially Zodiac Dryden 2.0. Maybe not as good because you can't pop a card at any time, but regardless. So when it comes to the combo decks, I don't think I have a Malice list on here. Yeah, no, because I don't play combo decks. Oh, I do. It's outdated, but yeah, sure, this is the concept. Malice is going to be the next best deck post-Alliance Insight because its support is absolutely bananas. You need to know what this deck does. You need to know that it's a shifter deck. You need to know that they're getting new support, which is really broken. It's essentially what people are going to be calling Cyber Slop, which is just Cyber's combo the deck. And so having your Lancias in the side deck, having Mole Charming Meowsle, which allows you to draw whenever the opponent summons from the graveyard or banish, is very good. Having access to Chaos Hunter is also very good if you want to stop this deck from playing. Droll does kind of hurt the deck a bit more since now they have to play things like Signet Mining and other searchers, like the new searcher that they get in Alliance Insight, the the Malice monster can search. That can hurt them if you drill them, assuming that they didn't hit you with the one of Luxac fucking shifter, which to me is ridiculous. But regardless, buy steals are also generically good this format because you can hit either Fiendsmith cards since they're all lights, or you can be hitting some of the Rise All monsters, as my phone absolutely agrees with me. And so having access to things like that is going to be very good. Another card that's also good that I think is under the radar is Cycle Reader, because you can discard it to the grave, target up to 2 light monsters in the opponent's graveyard, and banish those targets. So Blue Eyes, everything is light. You can hit 2 of their monsters. Fiendsmith, everything in that engine is light. You can hit 2 of their monsters. And so if overall you have a solid understanding of what Malice, Fiendsmith, and Rise All can do, I feel like overall that's a very great starting point, especially if you're going to play something like Kashtira Fiendsmith, which is very easy to play, very mid-range. I would argue it's not even really mid-range, depending on how you look at it. The balancing factor of Fiendsmith is, of course, that it does take up a lot of extra deck space, as you can see down here with, you know, double Requiem, Sequence, Agnum double Disarray. You could play just one Disarray, all that good jazz. But if you know these things going into this format, I think you're going to have a very good time. There are some other things coming out in Alliance Insight, but they're really not getting a lot of attention because they're just not considered all that great. But if you take the time to research the game, if you take the time to watch even my videos, shameless plug, whether it's the in-depth series or videos of where I'm talking about the format, and as long as you're playing the new Trinity of Talents, cross out and call by with 3 Droll in whatever deck you play, I think you're going to see a lot of success. The great thing about this new format is that, and I've said it a million times at this point, if you deck build correctly and you pilot your deck well enough, you have knowledge of the format, you will see success, varying on how many, you know, good cards you're playing in your deck, right? Like if you're opting to not play Droll, Talents and all that, and Swallows, you're going to have a hard time because these cards you pretty much have to play. You know, you can't be rolling in with just a dog shit deck with a bunch of board breakers. You know, you're not going to have a good time, unfortunately. You could play something more rogue like Tempai if you really want to, but just know it has hits on the ban list, so that's going to hinder you from having as much success as you may like. Whereas something like Kashtira Fiendsmith has pretty much gone all but untouched. So guys, let me know down in the comments what questions you have. This may be obvious to some people, but there are a lot of people who are getting back in the game now, which is a good thing. It's shocking that so many people are getting back into the game all of a sudden, but sometimes a year or two from the game, if not longer, can get people to say, hey, this format looks diverse, I really want to play it, and I think that this is a great starting point for many returning players and newcomers into the game if you want something that is going to help you get better at the game and get back to where you used to be, if not better than you were before. So guys, leave all your questions and more down in the comments. I'm going to do my best to respond to all of them. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.